Hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. I am DWTT, and we would have started the show a minute ago, but I forgot to do the intro like I like. So we're a
Bad
minute late.
Gary.
We're a
Bad
minute
Gary.
We're a minute late, but we're here. And I got on the stage with me today, Mr. Tony. How you doing, Tony?
I'm not doing too bad, minus the wrist that I sprained earlier today picking weeds, but other than that,
You sprained your wrist picking weeds. Just make sure I got that right.
yeah, yes, Gary. You have to
Sprained your
remember
wrist.
that
Yeah.
I only have one ankle, so it's hard to bend and do things.
One ankle? What happened to it?
You know what happened to it, Gary.
Yes, we know. And also joining me, Spencer from Virginia, but he's a Bronco, so he wishes he was in the Midwest, but he's happy on the East.
Yeah, I'm happy in the East. The East is the best of the rest, as they would say. Um, no, I'm good. Happy Monday. Two more games left in the season, and we could take a little break, right? Hopefully, it ends well. The story is being told as we speak, right? But other than that, happy Monday, and glad to see everybody here.
Yeah, and last but not least, our fearless leader.
Hang on, what?
Tom has never heard those words uttered towards him in his lifetime.
The man, the myth, Mr. Tom. How are you doing?
Or write it
Well,
down,
it's
Tom.
funny. It's funny you say that. I did have something. I did have something prepared based on something you said to me earlier, Gary.
Oh,
I'll bring you the needle mover.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Anyway,
Oh, yes, I said Mr. Thomas, he moves the needle, man. Oh, man. He moves the needle. Yes, we
I'm
got
not gonna
Tony
buy the
here.
T-shirt.
Probably welcome to buy. Okay, cool. Probably still have one more guest showing up, but otherwise we're a full house right now. Yes, and Spencer, you're right. I was looking at the calendar to see how many more weeks of football we got, and dude, we got less than 14 days, man. 14 days from now, we'll be like, what are you doing? Like,
Okay, come on, Gary. Spencer's not very wise to us. We don't really take a break.
yeah, but
Very rarely.
but there's
We
no
might take one.
football. What are we
We
talking
might take
about?
one during the whole summer where we don't
Yeah,
do a
I
show.
don't know. We always chat. There's always something to talk about. I mean, there's going to be Euros. There's going to be, is it the women are playing as well? What are they playing in? They got the. Do the women play this summer as well?
U.S. women or Arsenal women?
U.S. women, like the national teams. Don't they have? Is there something this week, this summer, or am I just reaching?
I
Like, isn't
you
it? Is it
No, World Cup was last summer.
World Cup?
yeah.
That's right. So then, what is this summer for the women? Nothing. They get the break. It's probably good for the Arsenal women for sure. So yeah, they get a break. So yeah, Euros for the men. So I don't know when that happens, but it'll be transfer talk and all that other stuff that's going on. But yeah, two more games left, Mr. Tom. One more game left. One more. Two more games left. Two more weekends.
It is. I think it's definitely next Sunday, and I can't remember when the
You guys
second leg
play
is.
on Saturday, or do you guys try to compete with the
No,
Premier
no, we
League?
should play Sunday. Sunday.
Okay. Okay. All right. And before we continue on, like I said, we got one more guest coming in. Last but not least, Lonzo's in the house. What up, Lonzo?
Hey Gary, how's it going?
Good. We're just going through our intros now, and then we'll get going about talking about whatever we want to talk about. Probably football. So, in the chat, we've got BX Gunner. Welcome to the show, BX. BX from the Boogie Down. And
Sunday
yeah,
and Thursday, I believe it is. Yeah.
Saturday and Thursday.
Sunday and Thursday.
Thursday's the last game for the league.
No, the league's finished. These are the playoffs.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was still thinking you guys had league games to play. Ay.
And you said we don't need a break.
Oh, I forgot that it's time. This is gonna be oh boy. Okay. Yes. Some tense games. So this time,
Gary's not
How
used
are
to
you-
covering a championship.
dude. You know
How
what
are
it
you
is?
going to do that with Anders in the chat?
You know what, Anders? I'm
Why are you
sorry.
going to do Anders
As soon
like
as you
that?
join, you got me talking like I don't know anything about Champions League football, championship football. Let's get it right. Ay. There you go.
Doesn't even know the correct adjectives.
Yes. Championship football. Ay. You know what? It's gonna. You know what? I'm scared now. I don't know. I don't know if I even want to go back to England now. You know,
It's fine.
I get off the plane and somebody's gonna walk by me. Next thing I know, I'm really like, "What happened?"
Or you're gonna fall down because your Achilles has been cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tom's more of a crowbar guy.
Crowbar. Oh, I don't know how you're gonna get one of those through security, but you know.
I don't have to get through security if you come to England.
Probably the same way you get those giant flares into the stadium.
True.
How does that make it through security? Here's my giant firework, but
I'm curious as to how that happens myself, Tony, but I also might not want to know.
Yeah, that's
Good old Tony
we've seen
Turner.
some videos of what people do with fireworks and stuff. So
They put one up their ass.
something like
just know most weapons go through airport security without being flagged. So
and there you go, Tony. Just if you weren't scared before, Tony is making you scared now. So there you go. So, anyways, let's get into it. Let's talk some football.
I've only been on an airplane 4 times, Gary.
You done?
Yep.
All right. You guys ready? Let's go ahead and. Did anybody see the game today? I know, Mr. Tom, you could at least laugh at it, right?
It's funny you say that. I pre-prepared some content for the games. Sorry. Help, Casemiro. I've got problems of my own right now. Because they suck.
Yeah, that was. If you're a Manchester United fan, that's a little painful to watch. I expected them to come out. I think a lot of people expected not City. Oh my gosh, Crystal Palace to do what they did, but I don't think they expected a 4-0. And joining us, imagine this. Why Not's in the house, everyone. Welcome to the show. Why Not?
Excuse me.
Yes,
Right.
Arteta out. Arteta
out.
competing for leagues, still out. Edu bringing in good players. Edu out. There you go.
Edu out.
Oh, that's right. You are the spokesperson for one. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk. Oh, we got one more.
Yep. Thank you. The Cronky Cockroaches. Bums out.
All right. I don't know what that means.
I think he's calling the Cronkies cockroaches.
Yes. I don't think we're competing for second. I don't know where you got that from. I think at least.
Competing for what? Second?
Yeah. I need to see the pause in there.
Yeah, I know what he means.
Oh, you know. Okay, you guys are on that wavelength. All right, got it.
I know how he typed it. It's fine.
But anyways, let's get Manchester United goes to Crystal Palace, gets basically stomped and embarrassed, and I mean, those goals are some really good goals from Crystal Palace. I mean, Mateta was doing his thing. Elise was doing his thing. I mean, if they were interviewing for jobs, I think they're going to get hired. And you guys think they're gone? Or you think the new manager is going to say, I didn't take this job so you can sell all my best players? Nobody?
But
Nothing?
it's that thing where you're just starting and basically you still don't have control yet. So some teams let the reins go where you can pick the players, but it's generally kind of what the staff's already planned out.
Yeah. If they let Alese and Esse and Mateta go, starting from scratch, I don't know if that's a good idea. But I did
Which
see,
which
that
one
they're
would you want to
interested.
get by, Gary?
Which one would I want to buy?
Elise.
Yeah, I think Elise. I mean, I do like Esse because we're talking about midfield. We need to improve our midfield. Why not bring him in and why not bring in Esse to help improve? I mean, we've got teams with multiple players we could take to improve both our midfield and our attack, right? So
I also like Gay. I also like Gay too. I think that him being English will help. Not, I mean, I'm just biased maybe because I like English players, but I like Gay as well. He's I think a captain. I think for Crystal Palace. So if that were me, I would want him as well.
he goes from being a captain to being a squad player for Arsenal. All right.
Well, backup rather. I
Yep.
think he could be a good backup to Saliba and or Megalesh. So
Yep.
he's not a bad player. I think he's just on a not great team right now. Though they've improved since they had a new manager.
Yep. Yep. Now the Mateta looked really good today. Basically doing whatever he want. Essay. I mean, yeah, he must have saw the game. They all looked really good today. Feasting on United too. Yeah, I didn't see. Yeah, I think a lot of United fans are done. They're done. And Mr. Tom, you gonna read this one? Because I know you like to read stuff.
United are fucking shit, boy.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I mean, if I told you, Brian, not that you're gonna lose and draw one game in the new year in the Premier League, you would say that's a failure in a calendar year. I don't know. That just
I,
sounds like you're asking for a lot.
I think also that Newcastle game really hurt us a lot. Because it took so long for VAR to check the play if it was good or not, and obviously it didn't look good. So that also hurt us as well.
We've got many games that hurt us. Any of our losses that if you recall, that we played against teams we should have beat. And we lost to Fulham. We lost to Fulham twice. No, we lost to Fulham twice. No, Fulham.
West Ham and Fulham in that same week.
Yeah, but then I think we haven't got any points. We haven't got a win off Fulham.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, is it Fulham that came back and got a point on us right early in the season, going down a man, and they still got a point. So yeah, no, we've got many a game where we could have a point here, a point there. A loss into a draw. That West Ham game should have been able to get at least a draw out of that. We got to score at least one goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, we've had our chances, Mr. Tom.
Both Villa games and Fulham games. Yo, what are we saying?
Yeah. So those are the games you're bringing up. The Etihad and the Villa games. Those games could have gone either way. But I think the early first half of the season when we started slow, it came back to haunt us last season. We started fast, finished slow. So hopefully this next season we just play the same way all the way through, which hopefully is just fast. Just fast. Yes. Tony, anything on that? There was what?
What's part of it, Gary?
You what?
I said, what's part of it?
Points drop.
Uh,
That hurt us. That hurt us. That hurt us.
I think with Newcastle, what was worst on this side of the calendar year because kind of killed us having it in our hands. Now we have to play to what City's doing in City's hands, so we can't slip up anymore where it's over. So that kind of kills us. There are always those games early in the season, like you said, Fulham. There's always these trap games, and the one that like got me is how the media was saying, "Oh, beating Spurs was a sensational win." I was like, "No, it's not. They're not a good team. Nobody outside the top four are a good team. There's a huge gulf. You got a 20-point gulf there."
You know what it is, though. Every time you guys say it, and I have no doubt you've said it before, these are always tough games for Arsenal. It doesn't matter where they are in the table. I mean, I think everybody said it. You know, so that is the problem, not a problem. That is that's the the statement there. I think that's being made when they say it's a tough one. Like Spencer.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the group chats that you and I may or both be a part of, where everybody's like, "Oh, Brighton just laid down for City." No, they didn't. Brighton, we slapped Brighton 4-0, just like City did. You know, like we slapped Wolves 2-0. They beat them 5-1. Okay, I mean there are levels to this, but I think we can go look at the games. The West Ham and the Fulham games stick out to me. I think the one at home where you have a 10-minute, it's 11 versus 10 because they've got a double yellow red card. And you can see on a corner kick when they have less men than you do, right? Like there's moments, but I think what we've seen in 2024 and where I think me and Gary are on the same side with this, the push, like what we're looking at, like we're in a good space right now. So I know James Bead on AFT did this video talking about our last two, 30 points stretch, the last 10 game stretch, 15 out of 30 and 15 out of 30 the last 2 years. Well, right now we're on pace to only drop 4 points out of that, and that would be 26 out of 30, which is to me shows progression as far as being able to finish out the year. It's not good enough. We're not saying this is great and we're going to throw a parade, but I mean, City are a trouble-winning team. Like they are the best team in the world. They've won 6 out of 7 Premier Leagues. Like winning championships, they're just not done every 5 seconds. Like it's not just something you just pick up your ball and just go do. So the game, we'll have a chance to really, I guess, go deep into these games. But I'm looking forward to the transfers and who we're potentially going to bring in, and we could still find a way to win this league. I mean, it's not done. It's not trending in the right direction. I'm not getting a warm fuzzy about it, guys, if I'm all honest with you. But, I mean, Spurs could do a job for us. But we'll find out.
His dog has a say as well.
He doesn't like that word like you do, Gary.
Lonzo.
Spurs, that's what triggers
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I would say you've. I mean, like I said, I think the first half's come back to bite us, just like the second half of the season last season came back, bit us. And you know what? And it's just like Spencer said. One thing, we got to be perfect against City.
Yeah, the thing is that it takes a while for Arsenal to get in the games the first half of these games lately, and watching you and Ryan and Liam, talk about it during the games, it just takes a long time, takes too long rather to get them going. In this case, against Bournemouth, they had possession in their end the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the game, and we couldn't do a shot on goal up until Saka's penalty shot. It seems like so it takes a while for them to get gelling, and sometimes it carries on in the second half where, Arteta may have said something to the team to get them going. And, I don't know if it's fatigue or if it's just anxiousness starting early like they did against Bournemouth and the game before against Tottenham. Back to Tony's point about, Tottenham and all these other teams that we've beaten that, they're not good enough, right? But they also have a lot of talent also. I hate to admit that, but it's true. I mean, any given day, any upset can happen. And, teams are prepared to play against us really well. It's just that we're just as better as a team, with better coach, it seems like. So, but yeah, I mean, I think, this league is a good league to watch, besides the refereeing. But yeah, I think that we have to be perfect and start games really fast and with a sense of urgency, especially against Manchester United and every team coming up. But other than that, I think we closed down games pretty well lately.
I hear you. No, I mean, I think we started fast. We just not clinical in front of goal. I mean, we had 16 shots in the first half, 5 on target. I mean, that's a good start, but got nothing from it. Mr.
It was
Tom.
very sorry. It was very compared to Spurs. I would say that it was better, but still we weren't better in goal. Starting, we were getting the shots in per se, so to speak. So sorry, Tom.
True. Mr. Tom.
Oh, sorry. I just quickly wanted to show you the official heat map of the Crystal Palace Manchester United game. Are you okay with that, Gary?
I think so.
Statistical analysis. I know you
Okay.
love that.
All right, go on.
Because they bummed them. They bummed them all over South London.
Wow.
Bummed them.
Yeah, I get it. I got it. I get it.
Just saying.
No,
Just saying.
that's
Thing
all
that
right.
happened.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Thanks.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again. If you do, you just rewind a bit. That's
Yes,
all.
even if he's gonna enjoy it, even why not's like, whew, yes,
Let's see how many of the people clip the video for you, Gary.
yeah. The what?
Let's see how many of the chat clip the video for us.
Oh boy. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah,
It's a
and
statistical heat map. There's nothing wrong
that
with that.
that's yeah. All right. Yep. It is what you said it was. It looked like one. Anyways, yeah. First half pretty bad. I think Arteta was starting slow for a reason. I didn't like it, but hopefully he doesn't have to do that ever again. All we're doing now is just piling on what we already got. Yeah.
And not doing more against Villa is another one
Yeah.
that killed us because Emery made changes at the half and the game was over after he made the changes.
Mm.
Double team Odegaard and the game was over.
Yeah. Whereas, Mr. Tom, I guess you want to read this?
In other words, United got dicks on.
Okay. All right.
I think it's supposed to be down. I could be wrong.
I don't know what these phrases are, but yes,
It depends how you roll, Spencer.
It was
how
yeah,
you roll.
yeah. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know why that man still has a job. Like I know we've called for Arteta's head for less, but that did not look good.
Coyg end up like Birmingham and end up in League One. They fired their manager and they were in 6th place. Good job. Firing a manager always works.
Yeah, well, if they fire, well, that's great. If they were to fire him, you think they're going to do better than worse than what they're doing now?
Talking about United?
Yeah.
So United, so Ten Hag's got his issues. I'm not denying that. But I think this is a multifaceted issue where I think you potentially need to replace players you need to bring someone in potentially that garners respect, right? I say that because Garnacho, remember he liked that tweet about someone saying he needed to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think someone would like a tweet like that if Pep was a manager or Arteta was a manager or Klopp was a manager? Not many guys would have the guts to do that. So there's a lack of respect for Ten Hag. Secondly, I don't think their players are good enough, so you'd have to move on from some of their people. Like I could argue that Casemiro's past his prime. I mean, look at the back line. I mean, Lissandro Martinez, once he went down, they kind of pretty much were playing with the makeshift back line. Maguire's already limited. He doesn't fit that kind of system of in possession football. But, I mean, Rashford probably needs to move on. Bruno's a good player. I mean, don't really like his antics, but he's a good player. But I think if you do fire him, you got to bring someone in that garners respect and can tighten the ship and get guys doing what they're supposed to do. Because if not, they're going to do this constant cycle, right? I think I read somewhere they've conceded 81 goals this season, which is like a most in a long time. I mean, that's just – I mean, they're just poor defensively. And Onana, as good as he was at Inter, I mean, you got to think, like, who's playing the back line in front of you? If you've got nobodies that aren't playing good defense – I mean, I'll give you this. Leno would have played good having Saliba and Gabriel. We know that. But he had Mustafi and Socrates. So, I don't know. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe.
But I think some people are not. It's not even that. Some people are like, sometimes about the coaching. It's not even about all the other stuff that you're talking about. It's just coaching. Can you guys play some proper football? Like, I don't think we're asking them to do. I don't think they would be asking them to do too much that they haven't already done before. So I think it's less about the personnel. It's more about, can you actually coach these guys to play football the right way? Yes, like they don't have a Mustafi. Yes, they have an Evans and whatnot. But I don't know. I think Evans he could have been. I don't know if he's any better than Mustafi. But I feel like it's more about the coaching and stuff than it is anything else. Yeah.
Johnny Evans used to be a good player for Leicester, and I think he was at United before. So he's like far gone, man. He's past his prime. So they've been re-signing a lot of players that have been past their prime, like Casemiro. I think Rafael Varane is okay at best, and he too had his best seasons at Real Madrid. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Bargav joins us. Yeah, says the issue with United is that game is versus us is going to be a massive tune-up game for the FA Cup final. A tune-up game? What? You mean a tune-up game or just a premonition of what's to come? Because I don't know. Like, anybody gives them a chance to get something out of that FA Cup final?
Well, it is City, so it's our arch rival, right? So they always turn up against our arch rivals for some reason.
Do you think City is going to have to struggle with the United?
You never know, man. I mean, it happened before during the leagues.
You're playing a serious, really big average right now, based on the way both teams are playing. What have you seen from United that would lead you to believe that they would be able to challenge with?
Again, Gary, this is our main rival, and they always turn up against them. I don't know why, but they always do. So you never know. But I mean, it's happened before, right, in the league. So they always turn up against City. So I don't know why, I don't know how, but they do. So that's the best case scenario for them.
So, if I may, Gary, to give credence to what Tony's saying, I mean, it's a cup final, right? I mean, did anybody really expect Arsenal women to beat Chelsea in the Conti Cup final? I mean, Arsenal fans did.
We're third in the league, and we are underachieving for the season. So I don't even think it's not even close. Manchester United was never even in the realm of finishing in the top 3.
I still think it's a cup final. So at the end of the day, I guess my point is a one-off game. You throw the records out of the book.
So
Form does matter.
Okay.
I think it does matter, Gary. That's why I'm saying credence. I give the chances like 75-25 that City's going to win it, 100%. I just don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we could be watching FA Cup final Sunday. That if it's in the 115th minute and it's 2-2, It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't be the craziest thing that's happened. I still think City's going to win it, but I don't think we can. I don't think City's. If City shows up with the mentality that we're giving Man United right now and say, yeah, it's whatever, City will potentially lose that game. But if they show up, and here's where this goes: if we keep pushing them to the end of the season, and City keeps doing like I think they're probably about to do, they absolutely will blow through Man United, right? Because they're going to just turn it up and turn it up. They got nothing else to play for except a double. But I mean, it is a rivalry games. Look at Tottenham. They gave us a heck of a game, although we really kind of let them back into it with the Raya mistake. But look what they did to against Liverpool. They just laid down. Chelsea beat them.
But
You just never know. Like every game is inconsistent, right? Go ahead, Alonzo. Sorry.
what was I trying to say by that is that, of course, Arsenal have a good chance of beating United. What I was trying to imply was that United are City's main rival, and so they always turn up against them, not us, them. So that's what I'm trying to say is that United they want to play well against a rival, and most cases not, it's a good game, and most cases not, they always turn up for it. So that's what I was trying to say. As far as Arsenal versus United, that's a different story. I think Arsenal will smash them.
I hear you. I just I go by what I see, and I understand rivalries and all of that. I just don't. I don't know.
But
I don't.
Gary, what do these guys got to play? Because there's going to be a huge turnover on the off season because you got the new 1/3 ownership that's controlling the football sides of things. A lot of these guys aren't to have jobs, so they can kind of care less.
They could care less,
That's
but no.
That's modern
But
football
but
for you.
but we're hearing that they are going to show up for the FA Cup final. We know everybody expects them to show up for for Arsenal's visit. The team that just lost 4-0. They're expecting everybody expects the United that's going to show up on Sunday will be able to compete. The Manchester United, who right now on form is worse than Bournemouth, who we just beat, and we even struggled against them. Right, we should have scored more goals than them. Right, I mean, both Manchester United and West Ham United. It's been a bad bad month for them. Right, not playing so good. They got one win. You got 2 wins between the two of them in the last 10 matches. Doesn't sound good, does it? We've seen this. I expect them to come out to play, but I think if we do what we do, we should be able to get the win. Right? We didn't play so good the last time. We need to show up again. You need to show up better this time. Right? I know it's Old Trafford, but I think we need to. We've shown that we can go play on the road. Yeah. So they had so many people out. Were they all out injured, or are they waiting for the Arsenal match? Rashford was out. Varane was out. I mean, I forget who else was out, but they had like about 5 or 6 players out. Were they all out for injuries?
Wasn't Casemiro also out for that game?
Casemiro started center back.
Really? Okay.
So no, he played. He's not a good center back, but I don't think he's supposed to be a center back. So,
Hey, Gary, if I may say this, I'll say the thing about this time of year, right, is I think all these teams go into these games trying to win, but I think what gets tested is that fortitude to kind of fight through, right? So the quicker you step on someone's neck and get that first or second goal, the quicker they just capitulate in general, right?
mm-hmm.
So that would be also the thing about on Sunday that makes me nervous is the record isn't that good up there. That's a chance for them to screw us out. But they may sit there and try to just lay down. And I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get till we get into the game, right? We could have like a stupid moment where someone does something stupid and there's a red card and we're down to 10 men. You just never know.
Yeah. Well, everything you said, but we've played on the road at City where we've had no luck in years, decades maybe. We've played at Anfield where we've had no luck in what, years, decades probably. We've played at the Toilet Bowl where we've really had not much luck there in years, decades maybe. Old Trafford is the next test on the road. We're one of the best teams on the road, one of the best teams at home, one of the best teams all around, all of that kind of stuff. So if we play our football, yeah, it as why not? And we could see something like that, a 2-1, 3-1 kind of professional job like we did against that team, right? I mean, at the least, it could have been a 3-1 match easily, but
Yeah.
I mean, the goal we gave them away, that's probably should not happen again, right? So I hear what you're saying about all of that, but if on the other side of that is what we are doing, not what's been happening in the past. We're not scared to play anybody anywhere, anyhow.
Sometimes it's hard to believe what you're seeing. Sometimes, Gary, I think.
So you don't believe it's real, then you don't think any of that's real.
Well, some of our Arsenal brethren don't believe what they see, so they're crying for Arteta out. So,
yeah. Mr. Tom, what do you see behind your eyelids?
he's just praying right now.
Oh, he's praying.
Yeah.
He's praying. Austin. Is that Austin? Is that what it says there? 316. Is he really sleeping on us? He is. Mr. Tom? We man? All right. Football always doesn't work that way in an intense rivalry. And I hear that. I don't know. Feels like we're playing a wounded animal. That's all.
I mean, but the most they got to play for is if they qualify for the conference league. I don't think they give two shits about that.
And that's like going to be a challenge for them now. They're sitting in 8th.
Yep.
I mean, they're sitting in 8th right now, right? Not only that, but they play us, right? And it shouldn't be an easy one for them. So I don't know who their last game of this. Oh, they got to play 2 more games, so they got 3 games to play. Don't they play one of the? Do they play anybody? Don't they play one of the like Liverpool or City? Right, I think they do. Right. Let's see who they play.
United play Newcastle, Brighton, and us.
Oh, okay, Newcastle. That's what it is. Newcastle's one they need to win that one.
Yeah,
help themselves. Yes, and Brighton. Okay.
Newcastle sitting at 6th.
Yeah, they need to get as close as they can. Yeah. Huh. Yep. Old Toilet Bowl, still a hard place to visit. I mean, I think our problem's always been we can control games. We just seem to we lack that concentration. We always seem to mess up at some point, give things away that we shouldn't. Yeah, Evans just barrel pairing is insane. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like at some point you got to like maybe change things up a little bit. Maybe make it easy for those guys. Don't punish them. I don't know about Arteta out. Got to go to the end of season still. I maybe I'm pushing it out, but I don't think whatever Arteta does this season should be grounds for a firing. Mr. Tom, you good?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk with us?
So, sorry, what?
you want to talk with us or no?
You're all talking about Man United and Arsenal, and I can't think of anything more boring.
Tell me something you want to talk about.
Nah. I'll talk about. You don't want to know what I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about? I don't know what this means again. Why do you guys keep putting this out?
It's a wrestling thing. We're gonna yeet United this weekend.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Gonna yeet them out of the top 10.
That could
Possibly.
happen. Yeah.
Are they already out the top 10? I don't know
No,
the table.
they're. I think they're eighth.
Okay.
But on
not
form,
good,
they
yeah.
could be out because I don't know who Bournemouth plays. Let's see. Bournemouth could knock them out because let's see. Bournemouth plays. Who do they play? Oh, they play Brentford. They're at home against Brentford, so they could win that.
Oh, Gav, I got it off of Amazon, I believe.
Was that the shirt?
Yeah, like I can't remember. It was either Amazon or WWE Euro Shop. Can't remember.
Oh, maybe not Bournemouth or not even West Ham. No, they no matter what they do, they're stuck in eighth for at least two games. That's how good or bad the season is. You know, take 2 losses in a row for them to be knocked out of that. Yeah, don't think Kroenke's is going to care one bit. I don't think it's that they don't want to care. I just don't think this season is one where if they don't want end up with. I don't know what you guys think. If Arsenal doesn't end up with a trophy this season, is that grounds for Arteta to lose his job? Like if he were to lose the next 2 games, is that Arteta losing his job?
No.
They're not that change.
No, I get that, but should Arteta lose his job if he loses the next 2 games?
It's not the style of the Kroenkes. It's not how they operate with the Nuggets, Avs, or the Rams. Like the answer to the question is within the other franchises.
Yeah.
I know people want them to be fired because they're jealous of Chelsea's mindset and we want to be Chelsea with the success and the high spending. But
Yeah. Hello, Steph. I don't know if I say hello to you, but welcome to the show. Yeah. No, like I said, I don't. I get why people think he's just going to help them make more money, and that's why they're going to keep him. But in general, if you were a cutthroat coach, would you be firing him if you went? You know, if you went.
If you're a cutthroat, yeah, you let him go because third year in a row that he's bottled something. So
Wait, I think the club that borrowed it was Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. Because they were winning the league at one point, and by a large margin as well. And if anything, they borrowed the league.
and also bottling entices that it was ours in the first place to begin with.
Well, the only time we bottled it was when we lost
Last
4th
year.
place based on that, and based on that loss, Tony.
Yeah, last year.
Historically, if you're ahead at Christmas, you win unless City beats you.
But then you just created the caveat. Then
But Tony,
if the caveat is
the hair.
except for if it's City, then there's no bottling. It can't be. You can't say bottling except if it's City, and then say.
Last year it was 7 out of 10 that the team ahead had won. Those 3 teams that weren't were Liverpool. Now we're in there since we didn't win last year. This year again ahead of Christmas, so that's why it's tilted because recent events have changed it.
But the tortoise beat the hare, Tony.
Hey Ray, welcome to the show. Yeah, I don't. We were on top of the league at Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah. No. And how long were we there? I guess we were there for a bit of time, weren't we? Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Liverpool was on top.
Me too.
Nope.
It's all good.
Yeah. I don't remember our play. I know we were. I know when we lost those games that knocked us out, right? Those games that those 3 games that we lost, or we dropped points, or we lost and we dropped points in. But yeah, no, I don't think it's that time to let him go. If
who was ahead of the Premier League during Christmas time?
Yeah, he has to compete in all fronts though. that time that ship is gone. That's another thing that will be an easy. If he's going to get fired, it's going to be for multiple things, right? Not being able to compete in domestic cups and not being able to get one of the big trophies. At least for me.
I mean, it's pretty shitty if you 3 years running that you beat the earliest exit out of the domestic cups. You don't integrate youth players. There are plenty of reasons why they would move on, but they're not going to because all Chronikies care about is getting to this new Champions League format. It's to be prosperous for them, so that's all they care about.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah, if we're going to spend a lot of money, sounds like we might spend a lot of money. If we do spend a lot of money, then we should be expecting to win. Should be putting ourselves in a position to win multiple trophies, at least one of the big ones. So I don't know what that was. What was that? What?
What? What? What? What? That's the t-shirt.
Yeah.
What?
I hate that still fucking happens in wrestling. Still, you still hear of a what?
What?
Gary, can I say something about what Tony has said?
Yeah, that's why you're here.
The reason why we got out early, Tony, of the FA Cup and League Cup is because we had no depth. Like Gary always says, we had no depth to compete on that level. That's why Arteta has to use or rotate players a certain way because we don't have a proper right winger. Like Saka came out that game.
Gary has told us we've got 15 players, so that's enough to rotate.
Right, but then we had Champions League as well, Tony. So you got to rotate as many players as you can to do well in Premier League. Right now, I think Arteta's goal is win the league. Right, if you can't do that, then next year we got to learn again to use his bench more often, and he has more players that he could depend on.
That's the problem, Alonso. He's never had more than 13, 14 players that he trusts.
But it had to be more realistic, Tony. That's why we out this cup competition so early. And we did okay in Champions League, but we should have beaten Bayern Munich. Again, we didn't have enough bench for that game either. That's what he's I guess he's trying to figure it out, which is no excuse, but hopefully this transfer window he could use the money to get a better bench.
I'll say this: the Bayern Munich loss at home had nothing to do with depth.
Yep.
I mean, it had nothing to do with depth. I mean, we should have won that game. That was the team did not come out prepared and on the ball. We weren't. The sense of urgency wasn't there. I mean, the 2 goals that we gave up are same as what we kind of gave up to in the North London derby. Goals that they didn't earn those. We kind of helped them along the way, right? You don't need to help. There's certain teams you should not be helping. Like City gets helped a couple of gets helped in games. A team will make a silly mistake in the back and get punished for it, right? So for me, that North London derby and that Bayern Munich match at home, fairly similar in terms of kind of what we've given up, and that's we can beat teams with our scoring, and that's kind of what happened against that team, right? But Bayern Munich, a more senior led team, nah, you can't be doing that, right? Porto, same thing, right? Porto matches probably should have won, both of those matches, but the way we played right into their hands, right? I kind of feel like that had nothing to do with depth. Like you said, I mean, Champions League, we're playing with our starters, so depth, those guys got to be ready to play, and they weren't. For me,
I mean, sorry, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got a reminder in Champions League that the margins of error that you're allowed to commit in Champions League are very, very minimal. The Porto game, we switched off for the last minute of that extra time in the first leg, and they got a wonder goal. If we don't switch off, we just say, hey, 0-0, we'll go on to next week. We're not playing extra time. We're not going to penalties, right? The Bayern Munich, game, you make it. You and your goalkeeper and your center back have a massive error. I mean, it's just not done at the Champions League level, and then you concede the penalty. Now you put yourself in a hole to a team that, okay, probably isn't better than you, but they know how to do it with a manager who's done it before in the Champions League. So there was lessons learned this year, good vital lessons that Arteta learned and that the young kids learned, and even Declan Rice and some of the older guys. But the depth issue, I mean, the League Cup also, getting through the League Cup also comes down to the luck of your draw too, right? If you play a West Ham or someone that in the first round that puts every single one of their starters out there, and you put youth kids out there, you're going to get turned over, right? I mean, it's just what's going to happen. So the whole Arteta out thing, I understand having ambition and stuff like that, but if you just don't see the progression and how this team has gotten better every single year, I don't know what to tell you. Now, if we're having this conversation next season, Tony, and say we're out in round 8 again for dumb stuff like we saw at the Bayern Munich game, or another kind of issue of the mental errors of switching off, then there's another discussion that I think absolutely has to be had at that point. And I'm sure the Cronkies will think about it at that time, because the Cronkies do care about winning. I see it with the Nuggets. I see it with the Avs, and we see it with the Rams. They want to win. It may not be the way people want it to happen, but they want to win. They're motivated by winning.
The thing is, Spence, with those teams that they were young, so they still had to take their bumps in the road as well. I mean, the Avalanche didn't win at year one. Neither the Rams, neither the Nuggets. The Nuggets got lucky because of the draft, and they developed really well, right? And that's what Arsenal need to do. They need to take their bumps in the road, like those teams did, and they'll be successful. And some of these fans, they don't want to be patient anymore, because they see what clubs are doing in Europe, and they want instant success. Well, it takes time nowadays.
Yeah, Jared Bednar and Michael Malone were given
Time.
Ample amount of time. Like, I can tell you, Bednar, I follow the Avs more than the Nuggets, but the Avs had a couple of first-round exits, second-round exits,
Right.
and they let it go. Michael Malone, the same thing, early exits, and now look at them. The Nuggets are probably going to maybe go back-to-back. The Avs, maybe not. They may have. There's been some missed opportunities with some moves they've made, but at the end of the day, they just have a patience model. Look at McVay. McVay won the Super Bowl. Then they had a couple of bad years with the Rams, but they're ready to keep it going again with him because they understand the vision that McVay has. So, yeah, the winning matters, the results matter, but it's kind of like Gary talks about the performances sometime, right? If the Cronkies see the performances and see the vision, they're going to stick with that vision, as opposed to going and getting some snake merchant like Mourinho that's going to come in and be here for 18 months, maybe get you a trophy, but then you have to rebuild the culture all over again. So what do you want? Do you want to build a culture, or do you want to go get I mean, we don't get when Arsenal win a trophy, I don't get anything. They don't send me a trophy. I mean, it's cool.
The Nuggets are to be a tough task. They got the Thunder, they got the Celtics if they get them to the final. So,
but you understand what I mean by that. I know you do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the Arsenal. This is a club to be proud of right now. I mean, we look out there and we watch these guys play, and you're proud to be an Arsenal fan right now. It's about winning, but at the same time, I don't know. Now, if you want to be like Chelsea and a mercenary club and go pick up mercenary players and think that's, I mean, I guess, but that's not the club I fell in love with.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you think, well, also we have to think as well that those trophy runs don't just continue over and over again. Like, Liverpool with with what they've done, I don't think their run went more than 3 years for, a trophy, when they won, right? I think they had maybe 2 or 3 down years. They did win one in the middle, but I kind of feel like you got to hit it when the iron's hot, as they say, right?
Yeah.
We were hot last season, and we'll see. You know, we might come up short this season, next season. You know, in some eyes, could be the last. Could be that run that might be the last run unless you change significantly, right? You think about, you brought up the Rams. They went to the Super Bowl. They weren't able to get it done. They changed their quarterback. They were able to get it done. They changed the biggest piece
Yep.
on their chessboard and won a Super Bowl because of it, right? They went and got some, a veteran player, and they brought, you know, he brought one the hunger because he hadn't done it ever. He hadn't even got close, and maturity and experience and all of that. And that's where we are. We don't have enough experience. That's why Porto and Bayern Munich can play the way they can against us because we don't have that. We don't have a Pepe, right? We have a young Ben White, right? Nowhere near Pepe in terms of what he's done or how he's played and how he's still doing it today. Like, do any of us see Ben White in 33 years old or whatever he was playing football? You know, football players don't last that long as they used to, right? Some players are going to play until they roll them off the pitch. So that's the other part to this is your window could go just because they don't last. No, none of them last unless you're, Madrid, unless you're City. I don't think anybody else is going to have those types of runs because they can't get the top players to come, or they don't have the money to pay for the top players to come, right?
And like that, the guys are going to learn from the disappointments of the Champions League. But I think I've said this before, and this isn't an original thought, but you don't choose when you suck, you don't choose when you're good, and you don't choose when your players are injured either. I mean, we've been very fortunate on our players to be healthy this year. I mean, we could talk about Partey and Timber and all that stuff, but we've had years, Gary and Tony and Alonzo, where, just think about that run to top four a couple of years ago where the documentary was done. I mean, the team could pick itself. There was no other option. So, I mean, it's difficult. Winning is difficult. And
yeah, but last year you could have did something different. You had Kivior and you went with fucking Rob Holding.
Well, that's
Sorry.
the gambles you take. It's the gambles you take. Like someone's got to be wrong on the day.
But why buy the player in January if you're not using? We've seen this
they
year.
They did the same thing too, if you recall.
We've seen that he's a good player this year, Gary.
No, you know what? We did the same thing to Erdegaard when we brought him in January. All right, right. We did the same thing. Was he ready to play? Was he anywhere near what you're seeing today? No.
Yes.
He was not like that in January when he came, Tony. Not even
yes,
close.
He was. He was good
asking,
in January. He was not good in August when he finally.
He was a good player. We didn't know
actually signed with
where to fit him.
Like he played great his first. That's why we went and signed him because he played good. He didn't start the next season good, but he did January on very well.
He needed time, right, Tony?
No, because he hit the ground running.
Well, he didn't need time. So
he hit the ground running.
But you just said he struggled, though. He didn't.
He struggled the next year, Gary. Not the same year.
So
I think it was all the lies and all the stuff got in his head, and that's why he didn't hit the ground.
So young players need time.
He didn't need time, Gary, because he hit the ground running.
So
the rest of it was mental bullshit.
I recall him not playing as good as we wanted him to. I remember Emil Truffaut playing next to him, and we're like, I always go back to that Brighton match away.
He played very good, Gary.
He didn't look as good as he needed to. He doesn't look anywhere near he is today, right?
Yeah.
Right, and and he's been captain for a bit.
I don't think he was terrible in that loan move. He didn't he wasn't one of these it wasn't what we see today. What he's developed into today is 100% accustomed to him, Arteta, playing around Declan Rice, playing around Thomas Partey, Saka, playing around better players, and becoming a club. Like, he's a captain, like he's a leader. Like, you see it. Like, that was my biggest beef about Odegaard during the Amazon documentaries. We didn't hear from him, but this year, I mean, I've seen more leadership qualities out of him than I have the previous year. So he's growing into that role. But this is the thing about transfers, right? You bring players in and you have to find the fit. You have to find out where they play. Kivior took time. Declan Rice hit the ground running, but Havertz didn't conceivably didn't know where you're going to play him initially, right? And now he's potentially your number 9.
Spencer, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
How come we didn't expect more Odegaard during that documentary? Because at that point he wasn't captain at all. It was season after. It was season before season last that he was named captain. So what were we expecting out of that?
Well, it depends on what you're looking at from a leader, right? What do you look from a leader? Do you look for action-based leaders or from vocal-based leaders, right? Because there's two different types. There's people that lead by action, lead by vocals, or do both.
At that point, Aubameyang was leader, captain, and it was Lacazette, I believe. So we all know what kind of leaders they were. They weren't really the leaders that Odegaard is now.
Yeah.
But like you said, it took time for him to be in that role he is now. And Arteta just, felt like he was the next in line to be a captain. So
I just say, if I'm going to get a featurette on Samuel Lukonga sitting at a dinner table talking to somebody, I mean, I expect to hear the club captain potentially speak, right? But at the same time, he may not even – but this is the counterpoint. He may not even want to have been involved in the documentary. He was just there, right? That's also a possibility too.
But I'm confused because he wasn't captain at that point. So I don't know what you were implying there.
Is that if you're going to show captain strike, I should have seen something. He didn't speak at all during the whole documentary.
Well, right, but he wasn't.
He was here.
He wasn't captain though. At that point,
neither were any of the other players a lot of players that we saw.
Yeah,
right.
The
one thing that stands out, right, was that conversation with Nketiah and Sambi, right?
Yep.
And I think Emil Smith-Rowe was sitting at the table as well, right? And maybe Saka, I don't remember. I mean, maybe it's just the younger kids, but he's one of those younger kids as well.
At that time, yeah. And then Aubameyang got a talking. Well, he didn't get talking to, but Arteta from the club that the co-captain is no longer going to be there. So.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, he did come in January, didn't he? Or do I have that wrong?
He came in January of the season before, where we finished 8th.
Yeah. That's what when I talk about him, like when we look at Kiwior and we look at Erdegaard, I think they came in under the same kind of setup and structure. All right,
Mm-hmm.
We weren't expecting him to kick on when he first came in. Same way Kiwior, he wasn't expecting him to come on. That's why I didn't want to. I believe the process. They went through the process like they did. I wanted to bring a player in that was going to be able to hit, like Trossard. Right? That's what we needed. A Jorginho come in January and hit the road running and not have to vet them for a bit. That's why Kiwior wasn't my pick. He's starting to get comfortable and they can play him wherever they want now. Right? But in general, Erdegaard, Kiwior came in January under the same structure. They weren't ready. They didn't need to click then. That wasn't the plan.
But they did click, so we went and bought him from Real Madrid.
No, they evaluated him, but he didn't have to be at that level where, you know what, that could be our captain someday. That's not what they, maybe they thought that, but that's not what they were like. I want to see it. Every game he played. I think he played 14 games if I remember this by looking at this thing. But like I said, I don't believe he came in like, all right, that's going to be our man today. No, that's going to be our guy tomorrow. That's what he came in as.
And you think about the price Arsenal got him at, considering what he is today. I think they paid 30 million euros for him. Today he would be I think at least worth maybe 180 million euros, even more. So They made it quite an important investment in Odegaard.
But you know what? That's a team in Madrid who didn't want him and didn't play him, and his value wasn't as high because guess what? His skill set wasn't out there. That's what happens to players at Arsenal all the time. Like Nketiah, is he worth anything compared to what he would have been? No. He probably, Emile Suvro, is he going to be worth anywhere near when West Ham wanted him? Probably not. Teams might pay for the potential, but is their value? Is his value in the 35-40 range? Not really, in my eyes. I don't see it. Nelson, another, came into the academy and all of that. Supposed to be as good as a lot of other players coming through the academy. Where is he now? Right? His value dropped. Same. That's what I'm saying. Erdegaard's the same thing. They didn't want him, and teams knew it, so they couldn't just go out there and get top money for them. Like if you know what you knew now, yes, you would, but you don't, right? Because you've never seen it. The only time you pay for something like that is when you see it, right? I mean, yeah. Did anybody see enough of Cole Palmer to know how he's going to play?
No, you really didn't at the time. You really didn't.
30-40 for a player like that is a steal now, right? But, they probably thought they might have spent a little too extra, but it was City, right? So you think their academy is going to train these kids pretty well, so it might be okay to spend a little extra on them, right? Turns out, they probably could have definitely used them. Not spent any monies, I don't know. I just, like I said, I kind of feel like Arteta's got a plan. He's not going to, you can look at the dynamic of the player he brings in and know whether or not they're going to be asked to do what you want. Like Kyrgios was never going to be asked to come in there and save us when players go down. He wasn't. When Saliba went down, Kyrgios was never going to be in a position probably in that squad to be like, all right, you can come in there and replace Saliba and we'll be okay. All right?
Yeah.
This season right now, I think we don't have any of those players where we're waiting for them to get better, right? Timber started day one. That right there for me is, I always talk about what I see. All right? Could have been because of injuries, but they played him day one. Would have played him more if he was healthy. All right? That's the kind of players we need to bring in now, unless we have some strong back starters in front of them. All right. Anybody that plays on the right now left back can come in and start for us right now. Right. A 6 or an 8, depending on who it is, can come in and start for us right now. A striker could come in and start for us right now. I think we've got most of the other spots pretty much. We're fine. We don't need to replace them, but if we can do better, yes. But I think we've got some holes where we have starting positions if they're qualified.
We're still going to spend more money on the left back. We've spent ungodly sums on this defense. It's over 300 million
Is
now.
Is the defense bad?
It's bad when players go missing.
Is the defense bad, Tony?
Apparently it cost us. It wasn't.
No, that's not the question. Year. The question is, Tony, is the defense bad?
Is it good enough, Gary? Because you struggle.
It is good enough.
You struggle.
We're not losing games because of our defense.
Answer the fucking question.
You're being a politician, Tony. For real.
You struggle at fucking left back. No, you have to buy another left back.
Ask you a question. Just say yes or no. Just answer the fucking question for once in your life.
It's not good enough.
So it's not, our defense is not good enough. We need to do better than what we've done already. We give up the least amount of goals.
We have to go buy another left back, Gary.
Tell me how bad this defense is then, because I want to know what's a better defense. Huh?
You have to go buy another left back.
It does. You're not asking in the question. You're asking what
Gary,
we're going to do going forward. The question is our defense bad? The answer is, Tony, our defense is good.
Is it good enough, Gary?
The
Is the
problems that we
question.
have are clinical on the other side of the pitch. Tony,
It's not good enough, Gary.
our defense doesn't have to get better for us to
So
win
who are you going to
trophies, Tony.
replace?
You're to be replacing. You're to be replacing the Ukrainian. The Ukrainian's getting replaced.
Okay,
we
Timber will
have
take his spot when he
backup.
goes back. We did replace him, Timber.
In reality, we didn't even replace him with Timber.
Jesus
Timber's just
Christ.
better than him at playing multiple positions. That's how good Timber is.
He
I mean,
can
some
play
people
left back
think
or right back.
Timber will just play behind, or it will play center back and play behind. That's what a lot of people believe.
Turn into a back
That's why we're
three.
still looking at a left back. Tony, our defense is really good. Our defense is really good, Tony.
Yeah, but
Tony,
we heard last year
our
we lost
defense.
because
No,
of the
no,
defense.
we didn't lose. We're not losing this year because of our defense, Tony.
Did we last? According to people, we lost last year because of our defense.
No.
Because
Well,
you
I'm not
didn't
talking
have
about last year
anybody.
because guess what? Last year we know that will happen. I'm talking about right now, today.
You don't.
Today. So you don't want to talk about today because you know the answer. It's all right. I'll answer for you, Tony.
You don't think TVR was good enough to help us last year, Gary?
No,
That's actually Tony.
not in Arteta's eyes. If he was, he would have played. We know this. Timber came in. Guess what? Start. First game of the season, start. Guess what? That is Arteta telling you exactly what he feels about a player.
And what happened afterwards, Gary?
He got injured, which you don't plan for, Tony. Did you cause the injury? Did you stick your leg out?
You can't choose when you're going to be injured. You can't choose when you're going to suck, and you can't choose when you're going to win.
You make it sound like that was planned and scripted. Yeah, you're going to get injured after 50 minutes of football. Nobody does that, Tony.
It's called depth, Gary.
It's called what? We have depth.
Yeah.
Did we miss Timber this season as much as you say?
Who played there, Gary? But
Did we miss Timber as much as we have the depth? Year. That's why we're sitting with the best defensive record in the league. We've missed Partey all season. We still have opportunities to win this league without him. We've got depth, Tony. We're just not clinical on the other side, Tony.
Well, you went out and spent $110 million.
Doesn't matter. He was worth it, Tony.
But the midfield hasn't been as good as it was last year with a fucking 33-year-old aged Granit Xhaka.
You're serious, right? I'm embellishing this, but I don't know why I am.
Tony, we still got second with Granit Xhaka on the field. What's your point, Tony? We had a left back. Our left backs did okay this year. Tomiyasu, Kyriar, and Zinchenko. No matter how bad he's been this year, we're still in second place with the least goals conceded. Tony, what's your narrative here? Tony, I asked you a question.
Not good enough, Alonzo.
How so?
Is Zinchenko good enough? No, he's not.
Kyriar is.
If you analyze where we stand right now, you're telling me our defense is our problem, Tony, and that's why we're not going to win the league.
Why do we keep spending more money at it?
You don't want to ask the question. I'll answer it for you. Our defense is not the problem. Zinchenko, not the problem. Kyriar, not the problem.
So why do you keep spending all this money?
Because that's where he wants to spend his money.
We're trying to win. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to win. You have to give it a shot. You can't just quit. I mean, that's the truth of the story. We just got to win, man. And
He's going to buy a defensive player every season. I have no doubt about it, Tony.
I've said this. They do this in the NFL constantly. You build upon strength, right? because you just never know when someone's going to fall off a corner. You never know when their Achilles is going to go, and they're never going to be the same player again. You got to be prepared for it. We're
Yeah,
probably gonna
but
buy
he
him to the left.
doesn't fucking rotate. The same players play and play.
He
Then
Because
they
he
rotates.
break
doesn't have the
down.
answers, Tony.
But
You know what?
Then
You
you
know
don't
how
have
you know how
for
you know how you look for answers and you don't find them, so you just stick with what you got, right? That's Arteta.
But think about this, though.
You don't have those answers, Tony.
You're not going to rotate Gabriel and Saliba. You're just not. Center backs just don't rotate. Ben White's solid at the right back position. The left back position is going to be different because sometimes he inverts it. Who does the better inversion? Usually Zinchenko. Kivior's more sound defensively, so it's all situational based. So that's the one where he rotates. You got Tomiyasu, but Tomiyasu can stay healthy. I like Tomiyasu. I think he should be a center back, not a full back. I mean, you're going to buy another left back. You're going to move Zinchenko on. Zinchenko was a player that took you from 5th to 2nd, but he's not going to be a player that's going to take you from 2nd to 1st. So you got to move on from him. You used him as an asset. You brought him in. You move on from him. Jesus is the same way. He was a good enough striker to get you to 2nd, but he's not going to be the striker that's going to win you the league. So you got to move on from him. It's part of the progression. It's like flipping a house. You have it for a little bit and you flip it. Sometimes you make a profit. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you keep it. But, I mean, could Kivior have helped us? I mean, it's a hard question to say. I know we've had this discussion before in the past. He's shown that he's good enough, but maybe he wasn't good enough in January. And, you know, if you waited to the summer to buy him, the price tag could have been $45 million, right? So you save yourself the $20 million to buy him now. You bring him into the system. You teach him how to play. He can play center defensive mid. Yeah, his first action was against Liverpool, but what were you going to do at that point, right? Tomiyasu was already out with an injury, right? Who else were you going to turn to?
But he had to be
Not Rob
better than
Holding.
Rob Holding. He had to be better than Rob Holding.
Obviously not.
I mean, not at the time.
It's called Arteta has his pets, and he relies on
Well, he sold
over
his
and over
pet.
again.
He sold his pet.
You know what? As I said before, we didn't lose because of our defense. We didn't lose because of Zinchenko. We didn't lose because of Kiwior. We didn't lose because Tomiyasu was injured. We didn't lose because Timber was injured. All of that. Pick any left back you want. Didn't lose because of any of that. Didn't lose because of Partey. All right.
There's tons of people that said we lost because Saliba went down.
I don't know. Saliba did not go down this season, so I don't know what you're talking about.
He's talking about last year.
Saliba has played every game, every minute this season. One of the few players, I think there's one or two players this season. So I don't know what you're talking about. Saliba has not been injured, not been out, knock on wood, this season. So Saliba's here every day. We're talking about today. That's where I'm going with that. You talk about last year all you want. This year, our defense is not the problem. Our midfield, not the problem.
The
Our
midfield
attackers, the
struggled
problem.
for ages, Gary.
What?
The midfield was our worst problem because
This
you
year?
kept putting Kai Havertz there.
This year?
Kai sucked there.
Yeah. Did we lose because of it?
Nope.
Did we lose because of it? It hindered us a little bit, but I'll tell you this: in any of those games, if we were clinical in front of goal, it wouldn't have mattered.
And the reality was,
you went and bought Kai instead of buying a clinical striker.
well, how do you figure Kai hasn't been clinical up front? He's got like 12, 13 goals right now. And you gotta
How
think
long
about
did
the
it take him to decide to play him there?
No.
We had to play him at the 8th, though.
You keep moving the goalpost, Tony. 1 minute you want to be clinical as a striker. He plays striker. He scores goals and assists. Then you say, what? What do you say about that?
How long did it take him to be there, Gary? He kept insisting on him being the left 8. That cost us points.
And not other players missing chances in front of goal.
Well, who are
like
you going to play in the 8th
Like your
position?
Martinellis, like your Trossards, like your Jesus, like your Erdegaard. All right.
Hey,
what
and
about
what's
those
happened
players?
What's happened with
You can't blame it on one player, Tony.
What happened with Trossard and what happened with Kai when they kept repeatedly getting played up front. They started scoring goals. Attackers, they need consistency so they can get out there and get the goals. You don't haphazardly play them, Gary. You put them in the same position, then you see what happens. It usually results in
Charleston's
goals.
not playing up top for us, right? And what? And tell me about his. Tell me
He,
how he's scoring
he's
now.
not playing up top. He's not playing as the left
He's not playing.
winger.
He's not playing in the center.
He's the left winger, so he's playing up top, Gary.
Well, I mean, he's not playing in the middle, Tony. You know what I mean. Stop it.
So here's the thing about Havertz at the 8. There, it can't. That's my dog. Sorry. Having a dream. No, so at the end of the day, like, who were we going to play in the 8 position? Partey was out. I mean, Arteta's showing you exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted Partey at the 6, Rice at the 8, and Odegaard at the 8 as well. That's what he wanted. But Partey couldn't stay healthy. And then Vieira couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe couldn't stay healthy. So who was able to sit there and plug that position, even though it wasn't good enough for everybody else? Kai Havertz, Mr. 60 million down the drain, as everybody said. But he still scores goals.
Yeah.
And now
And
he's starting to
assists too.
spot at the 9. He's potentially going to be your 9 next year. And I don't know if you're going to buy a $150 million striker, but he's a guy you can run with an upgrade over Jesus and Nketiah. But he's been our Swiss Army knife this year, and that's why we are where we are, because Vieira couldn't stay healthy, Smith Rowe couldn't stay healthy, Partey couldn't stay healthy.
And also, he's been giving out some good assists as well, Spencer. So he's been everything we've asked for out of him.
Yeah. Sounds like everybody wants to move on. We're not
sorry,
gonna,
guys.
We're not gonna. No, it's not you. It's not you. I'm not gonna change Tony's mind. Everything about last year is
still
the
love you,
same as
Tony.
this year. So
Has he ever changed his mind on anything? Has he ever admitted he's wrong on everything? Anything?
Yeah.
No. The answer is no. Let's just save some time. The answer is no.
all right. So here we go. We got United coming up on the weekend. It's a Sunday match. We will know where we stand. We probably will have to win just to stay a point ahead of City. Most likely, we could get lucky, but I'm not holding out any hope for that. How you feel we're going to do, Mr. Tom? Tell me, how's Arsenal going to do against your favorite team, Manchester United?
Oh, you're going to whoop their ass. I hope you whoop their ass.
Yeah.
And that's it. If I laid it on thick enough, I don't give a shit. I only give a shit about one thing, and that's beating Norwich
There you go.
Norwich.
next Sunday.
Do you
Only
play
thing I
home?
give a
You play home or away for that?
No, we're away for the first leg.
All right. So that's where you want, though, right?
I don't think it matters.
It matters.
How so?
If you were, for example, to win 3-0, you go home with a 3-0 lead, I think that matters. If you lose 3-0, you go home, it matters.
In fact, I discovered an interesting statistic today. It's not true, Stefan. You openly said you hoped Norwich would beat Leeds. I remember. I don't forget a fucking thing, mate.
He's on your side until Norwich.
Nah. I gave him a pass when he was talking about intense rivalries. I was like, yeah, so intense you cheered Norwich on against me twice. But anyway, the important thing is that the last time a team in the Championship beat a team twice in a season and then lost in the playoffs was Leeds United.
Oh, damn.
Against Derby County. We beat them 3 times.
These aren't the receipts. These aren't the receipts Ray was talking about. Ray, these aren't the receipts Ray was talking about.
Like a fucking elephant, pardon my language. Anyway,
yes.
Anyway, the point is, fuck Norwich.
There you go.
And I've almost certainly talked me into an embarrassing result. But right now, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've done that multiple times over the season.
Hey, next Monday we'll be chatting on, and hopefully we're smiling and having a good time, enjoying our at least 3-goal lead wins. Okay, let's just go with that. That's kind of the plan. All right. Yeah. At least 6 goals scored between the two teams,
Sounds like a plan.
and at least a 3-goal lead going into the next match. All right, there you go. So let's do that. You got it in you. Maybe Somerville will turn on the playoff Somerville. I don't know if you guys see. I don't know, Mr. Tommy, you may not have seen that commercial, but the point guard, I think is it Minnesota? He does a commercial and he's like, "Is it playoff time?" And he's like, "I don't do playoffs." And then they show him in the playoffs, like having his best career day or something like that. He's like, "But I don't do playoffs." But yeah, maybe. Tony, talk to me about the Manchester United match on Sunday, please. Not the one in the past. Not the one last year.
I've already commented on it,
No,
Gary.
do it again. Tell me
They have
how you
they have
feel.
nothing to play for.
So what's going to happen?
They're not losing, Gary.
How much?
Probably not enough.
What does that mean?
We're not gonna win this on goal difference, Gary.
We're not going to win this game on goal difference?
League title, Gary.
Not
It
going to
doesn't
win the
matter.
league title. Hey, here's my marker. I put it up. Arsenal hits 70 goal difference. They'll win it on goal difference.
But we still need City to stub their toe somewhere. That's the problem.
No, that has to happen no matter what.
Right.
But to win it on, the easiest thing for us is winning on goal difference. I think is if we hit 70.
And if they draw, then it would come down to a goal difference if we win out. If they lose a game, then we would win by 1 point.
Remember, we still have to play Everton as well, and they're not defensively sound themselves. So
They've looked good.
Yeah,
They've had a game where they got pumped 6-0 by Chelsea, but then they go and look, look what they did to Liverpool, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the
Crazy.
concern, right? Those Arteta, will he come out playing, knowing that his team, he needs to let the team play and let them play. So Spencer, you have anything else to say on the United match?
I'm worried about it just because it's a rivalry. I don't think United's form is good right now. United still have something to play for in the form of the FA Cup. They still have a chance to potentially have an outcome on the league. If we do what we're supposed to do, there's no doubt in my mind we'll win 4-0 or something like that. There's just no doubt. With that being said, I'm picking us to win 4-0, but I'm just cautious because of who it is. And it potentially is that more of a badge cautiousness where like it's United, so I'm just giving them the respect because it's Man United, possibly. Mm-hmm. But I would love for us to right some demons of that place. That 8-2 defeat. It'd be nice if we were to, I don't know, do like a nice 7-1 like Liverpool did. I'd take that right now, embarrass them, send them get Ten Hag fired. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that 8-2 win. I'm hoping for just a 0-6 win, in an empty stadium. That'll do me just good. Lonzo, Manchester United.
Yeah, we talked about earlier how no matter how bad a team can be, they can be really up for a game. And I see this going that way where it'd be tough to manage at times. Though I think it'd be closer than what some people said. I think it'd be a hard fought 3-1 victory. Because it's a theater of dreams, right? And it's always a tough place to play there. Though I would take a win no matter how we got it, as long as it's a win. It's always a hard fought game over there at Old Trafford, or as Stefan wants to say, Old Toilet. So we just gotta poop in it, right? And hopefully hope for the best. But I think talent wise, we're talented than they are. I think right now we're gelling. I think Kai Havertz is having a great year, as is Saka and Odegaard. They're all playing well right now. I think Trossard as well. So with our great defense, I think we'll be able to muster out a win.
I hear that. I hear that. No, I mean, like I said, the way I go by, kind of way we're playing, I know the rivalry and the location, all that plays into this, but I think we are definitely set up to get something more out of this game. It's 90 minutes. Probably gonna head out of here. I don't know what that means, Spencer, but he said something in the private chat. I don't know what that means.
Neither
I don't know what that means. But everybody, we're gonna head out of here. I'm gonna let everybody have their say before we jet out of here. So first up, let's see. How do I do this? Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Lonzo.
Thanks for having me, Gary. Good to see you, Spencer, Tom, and Tony. I just hope that we win out. I hope that somehow, some way, City drop points. But they're a machine right now. But anyway, so yeah, it's good to see everyone in the chat as well. Come on, you Gunners.
There you go. There you go. And next up, Spencer.
Everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully 3 points. I'm hoping City lose all 3 of the remaining games so we can go into May 19th with a little, I don't know, little relaxation. Either way, it's going to be fun. Enjoy it. It's good to have something to play for the last couple of days of the season. So take care.
Cool. I don't know what that thing is that keeps popping up on my screen. What is that, Mr. Tom? Why do you keep popping up on my screen?
It's more wrestling QR codes, probably.
Well, say something about it. Keep popping up on my screen.
Tom?
I'm not going to say anything. He's going to keep putting stuff on my screen. Anyways, Tony, talk to me. Tell the people bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Tony says goodbye. And last but not least, you want to put that thing up and talk about it, I guess? What is it? You're not going to say anything. Say bye-bye. I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself. Why
I'll
did you
see
mute?
you all next week.
There you go. Mr. Tom.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. We have. Well, you play on Sunday, you said, right?
Yes, true.
All right. So we'll definitely see Mr. Tom maybe midweek this week, and on Saturday for the road trip as well. So check him out this week and that. Anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. We'll be back doing this again next Monday. Like I said, hopefully we're talking about 2 wins and what's up next, and hopefully we're talking about a big loss. But thank you very much, everybody. Hit the likes, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Today I decided to push the video to Instagram, so I'll see how that does. It's what's crazy is I see 62 people up there as watching us, so that's pretty cool. So everybody, thanks for joining us. We're back. We'll be doing this again. Enjoy. Have a good night. And everybody wave bye-bye. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Here we go. And we're out.